Hi, my name is Barry Balsam. I'm co-owner with my wife, Carol Ann, of Arlington Orchards. Most of you, when you come to Arlington Orchards, these are the orchards that you see here. But unfortunately, you can't visit us this year because of the COVID-19. So we're going to take this opportunity to show you what else we do in this orchard, because you only see a little bit of it. But the one thing you do see in this orchard when you come is this row of Honeycrisp. And this is actually the first legally planted Honeycrisp in Canada. Back in 1996, myself and a few other growers from Nova Scotia brought the trees in. And as you can see, next year is the 25th anniversary of growing Honeycrisp in Prince Edward Island, so I guess we've been at it for a while. And as you can see, the crop is looking big and plentiful, so there'll be lots out there for you guys this year. So this is the new way of growing apples that you don't see in the other orchard. This is our trellis systems that we're developing. This is Honeycrisp, because you see the trees are planted much more closer together. You don't get more production than you do in some of the other parts of the orchard with the standard trees, but you get a higher quality production, and that's the secret. The pruning is easier too, because basically you're just taking out the big branches and doing Dutch cuts, because you basically want a wall. So you come up here, we could probably tighten this up a little bit more, but this is all about incepting sunlight. There's a wall, the apples are open, they're exposed, they're not behind leaves, and you get earlier production, and it's also simpler to do, easier to pick. That's why we're going this way. Well, indeed, this is not a tree. This is actually a clone. As an apple guy, I really get mad at Dolly the sheep. Everybody thinks cloning is a big deal. We've been doing this for over 2,000 years. All the Honeycrisp you see here is actually just one tree. We just take a cutting off it and graft it onto roots. And the roots will tell us whether they're weak growing roots. In this case, this is B9. Some of the big trees you saw in the orchard back there are B1 or M111s. So the roots will give the vigorous to the tree. So we try to match the root to the site to what we want to do in the spacing of the tree. We grow about 40 different varieties of apples. You know, if you grew 2 or 3, life would be so much simpler. Apple varieties all have their own season. The thing about summer apples is that they don't keep. The later the apple is picked, the longer the apple will store. The apples are dumped. They come across this line. This is a wash line. The apples are washed. This is dryer right here. The apples are dried. They come across this round table and they're packaged, and we sell to most major grocery stores on Prince Edward Island and others too. And that's the end result. Also, we actually process. We make mustard pickles and pickles here, as well as our cider operation. We're one of the very few pasteurized cider operations in Prince Edward Island. So that's what we do right now. We just did our first batch over the weekend, a single variety called Vistabel, and we like it as a summer. It's the only single variety cider we actually make. Here the girls are actually working today, making our mustard pickles. And this, of course, is a picture of our bottle of our pasteurized apple cider. So not only does Arlington Orchards grow apples, we actually grow pears, plums, cherries, and peaches. And we also are leading edge and experimenting on new varieties for Prince Edward Island. And we just picked this little fella. And this is our red plum through and through. It's sweet, doesn't travel well, but of great quality. This is actually our peach orchard, and we've been growing peaches here for about 5-6 years now. And this is our later variety peach. You see they're coming along beautiful. They're a few weeks away from harvest, and it's one of the late season peaches growing in North America. I'm not going to say peach growing in Prince Edward Island is easy, it is a challenge. But if you notice these trees, we prune them different in our management style. Peaches like growing on second-year wood. So we don't want to have a tall tree. We've actually done this a bit different. We're kind of unique in that we decided we want to put the tree down. So when we do pruning, we'll actually prune the tree down to this level because we don't want to climb ladders. If there is winter damage, it's easier to renew the tree and you don't have this great big thing that's damaged. The biggest challenge we've had in growing peaches in Prince Edward Island is bulls. Okay? Because I was told by one gentleman, well, just paint your trees. And I said, apparently you haven't met island bulls. They love peaches. So we have had to replant because of bull damage is our biggest concern. But they're coming back and we're happy. And behind us, we have our damson plums that prized for cooking with. So you can see in peach orchard why we want to downsize these trees. So we're looking at the way we planted the peaches, and we're thinking the future plums will be done the same way by trying to keep these trees more in a smaller trees that the customer can pick. This one is an interesting tree. This is an endemic plum tree. We can trace it back to about 1870s, growing in farmsteads in Prince Edward Island. It's continued in this area just to grow wild. The plums aren't the quality that the consumers are looking for today, but it has a couple standout qualities that if you're looking to make hard snaps, apparently I'm told by some Germans, this is the one you want. But for culinary purposes, this is also the one you want. It's susceptible to black knot, but it does get brown rot, which is even more deadlier on a plum tree and will actually kill the plum tree quicker than black rot will, but this has shown resistance. So this might be valuable. We just keep it around that maybe want to try for crossbreeding purposes to build up resistance to brown rot. So we will be opening the Upick this fall. It's going to be different. We're not going to open up to the 23rd of September, and we're going to zone the orchard. So PEI Health, we've worked out a plan. They're allowed 50 people in the zone, so we're going to have 3 zones in the orchard, each with its own washroom and hand washing station. You will not be weighing out apples this year, but we will be sold a bag coming into the entranceway here, and you can fill it to your heart's content. So now we're back in the original orchard, and this ends our tour. In the meantime, stay safe, look after each other, and see you next year.